Everybody thinks they know what the College Football Playoff Committee is going to do here tonight and over the next 2 weeks, but I can guarantee you one thing, folks. If you think a team is a lock and it's not Ohio State, Indiana, or Texas A&M, there is a possibility that it's not a lock. And that includes Georgia here, because Georgia still has a chance to get to the SEC championship game, and it's not far-fetched that they could. And if they lost to Georgia Tech, which I'm not calling for the loss, although I think it would be great if Georgia Tech ended up winning this game, the game they should have won last year. But it's not a lock that Georgia could get into the college football playoff with 3 losses if they lost to Georgia Tech and lost in the SEC championship game. Alabama's not a lock. That, first of all, they're not a lock that they could beat Auburn this week, which they probably will, but it's not a lock. And they could really easily lose the SEC championship game too, and that's guaranteed them to be a 3-loss team if those two things happened or one of the two things happened. So that's not a lock. Texas Tech is not a lock. They could easily lose to BYU in the championship game, and with 2 losses, they might only get one team in the Big 12. It's no guarantee. The ACC champion is not a lock. If SMU wins the ACC championship, I'm going to guarantee you that 2 group of 5 teams get in above SMU with 3 losses. That would be a lock for sure. Miami beats Pittsburgh. What if Georgia Tech beats Georgia? Is Georgia Tech in the playoff at 10-2? Could they kick out an SEC team with the win over Georgia? It's not a lock, and it's not likely, but it could definitely happen. Miami beats Pittsburgh. Miami gets in over the ACC champion, and that being SMU, if that works out. That's assuming that Virginia loses. There's a lot of things here. Ole Miss could end up playing in the SEC championship game and get a second loss. Oklahoma just wins, and they're in probably, I think, with 2 losses and a win on the road at Alabama and at Tennessee. So there's a lot of things here that are not locks for sure, and we probably, with the way this committee is, shouldn't think that they're going to go just scratch down the board here. And, teams like Oregon, they got to win this game against Washington. I think if Oregon loses this game, there's a very good chance they're on the outside looking in. Notre Dame's got to go to Stanford and win. Not going to be a hard game. But what if they lost that game? So bottom line here is whatever you think you know today, this being Tuesday, is probably going to change over the next 2 weeks, and it could be totally different. So I wouldn't be sure your team's a lock. They got to win this week. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, Michigan's a lock to get in. There you go. Todd Talks College Football.